Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are celebrating Happy Easter week, I thought it would be fun for this week to create a springtime craft, and some of the most happy decor was created in the mid-century, and so I wanted to share with you little trees that I'm going to show you how to embellish that work well with Putz houses. And if you're not familiar with what Putz houses are, they are tiny cardboard or chipboard houses that you can construct and then embellish with glitter, trees, little figurines. And I actually have a pattern on my website, which I'll link to down below in the description box. Now, the tradition of the Putz house is more closely associated with the Advent or Christmas season. People would set up a nativity or a creche, and then they extended that by adding little businesses and houses that they created. And the fun thing about Putz houses is they can be all shapes and sizes. You can have really tall houses next to really short houses, and the sky is the limit in what you can create. And my family just love them, and we have had a lot of fun over the years creating various houses. And even as I was getting these houses out, my daughter said, "Oh, I want to make some more Putz houses." So I have been wanting to expand our springtime collection to create little scenes and vignettes, and I thought it would be fun to create some additional trees to go along with the houses. And bottle brush trees were also very popular in the mid-century, which is why I am creating in costume wearing an early 1960s ensemble. And from pictures that I'll share of this is vintage fabric that very much reminded me of Easter eggs. So when I saw this fabric at an estate sale, I said, oh, this has to be an Easter dress. So bottle brush trees are kind of come in many shapes. They now come in a wide variety of colors. Traditionally, they are green when used at Christmas time, and they have a natural wood base, which this multicolored one, I left it in its natural state. But if you want to jazz the trees up, you can paint the bases and then color them with glitter, as I have done here. You know, in crafting, it's just about being creative and making a project your own. For my Easter scene, I wanted these white bottle brush trees. You can see that some of the bottle brush trees on the Putz houses, those are sort of ombre, and I achieved those with Rit dye that, again, in the post that shows you how to make the houses, I also share how I achieved the effect of various colored trees. And why I started making my own Putz houses is some of the most beautiful houses that are for sale today. You can find them on websites such as Etsy and eBay. They can go from anywhere from $30 to $200 for the new ones. The older antique and mid-century Putz houses can go for much, much more. Their heyday really came into effect after World War II. Japan became a primary source for making the houses. And normally on the bottom you can see a Made in Japan stamp or sticker, and those are highly collectible too. So if you see those in thrift shops and want to start your own collection, I do have older Putz houses that I put out at Christmas time, and I've found those anywhere from 50 cents to, I think I've paid at the most $5 for my older Putz houses. Okay, so for springtime Easter trees, if you wish to embellish, do that first. And this is actually a great project for children. I'm going to be using a hot glue gun, but you can absolutely use a tacky glue or a craft glue to create a more safe crafting experience. And I try to use washable acrylic paints that I get at the craft store to paint both the houses and the bases of the tree. And again, just various bottles of glitter. I find these at the dollar store, estate sales, and of course crafting. Now I typically create a wreath or some sort of decor for my front door, and so these were leftover branches from a recent wreath that I made. And to me, the berries of these faux branches looked somewhat like eggs to me, and I thought, how cute would it be to create little egg trees? So it's really easy to take these apart. I just use little jewelry nippers, and you just simply cut it off or remove, and then the pearls or little eggs or berries, whatever you want to call them, they come off really quickly. And you do want a small little tail that you'll tuck into the sisal branches. It gives you a little bit more of an area to attach some glue right here. And so for this tree, I have already made one turquoise tree, but that is my absolute favorite color to use. And since I'm planning on placing this in my living room, which has several touches of turquoise, I wanted to make a second one. So I'll probably end up moving this over here, and then the two turquoise trees will act as anchors or end weights to really group the vignette that I'm going to create. And so what I do is I start at the bottom, and I kind of look to see which side I want to make the front. On this tree, it's a little bit flattened back here, and sometimes you can kind of fluff it back into submission. And I just start at the base, and I pick some of the bigger berries. And then I just go around placing the berries. So you can see that it's going to go together really quickly. And usually separating into thirds usually works the best visually. And then I come back and I go up just a little bit in between two of the berries. So I'm going to add a little bit more glue there. Whoops, and sometimes they like to stick to each other. Now, if you have some threads that just do not want to come off, just hit it with a warm hair dryer and it melts the glue so that you can't see the threads or the webs anymore. So I'm just going to continue to add in these berries. Now I know not everyone decorates for spring, but I love to change out my decor seasonally. It helps to mark the year, and over the years my kids at school would create various projects in art classes that they would bring home, and it's just a fun reminder and a way of marking the different seasons to add some pizzazz to your house. And as you can see, just kind of adding these willy-nilly, wherever I think it looks a little empty. And I'm just adding a drop of glue to the tree itself, and then sticking in the little embellishment right there. Sometimes you have to reposition it. And then I think it's close to finishing it. Let's see, maybe I want one more down there. I just sort of keep going until, maybe one more right here, until I'm satisfied with how the tree looks. And then again, kind of making note which is my favorite angle. And then so for the very top, I don't need a tail, so I'm going to trim off the end of that. Just put a little bit. You don't need a lot of hotter craft glue. Wipe off the excess, and then you kind of have to hold it into position. Ooh, I hear a little bit of thunder. It's overcast. I hope it's sunny this weekend though, so for kids doing egg hunts, they don't have to tromp through the mud. And so there's our little tree, and I am going to show you how I set it up in the next segment, and following that we'll be strolling out to see some of our beautiful springtime greenery. So I'd love to know what are your springtime or Easter plans. Share if you make this project. Definitely tag me on social media. So let's go into the next room. Waiting for Gracie to settle herself. herself. She's deciding where she's going to lay. I think we're ready. Okay. Living with dogs and kids.